My name is Annie, and Will and I'm going to tell you about a royal star. What is it? Let's go and check. This is a royal star. That it's the outside is you always see the story, the king shopping, but in this book it's a 3 story. One is the king shopping, and the second story is the Queen's Day. And the third story is the maid's promise. And now we'll only read one story. But what do you want to tell the story? Oh, I want to tell the story. So let's go and tell the king shopping. The king was in his counting house, counting out his money. He counted on 3 piles, one to pay to the royal gardener, one to pay the royal farmer, and one to pay the royal groom. Then he counted what was left. He wanted to buy something special, but he needed 100 silver coins. 88, 89, 90. Count the king. 98, 99, 100. He leapt into the air and had enough. He had enough. He could go shopping. But first, he had 3 important visits to make. No time to lose. The king ran upstairs, almost bumping into the maid, who was coming down with a basket of washing. He rushed into his room. He took off his crown. He rigged his straight dressing gown with a cold red round the edge and his yellow ski pajamas. He pulled on a pair of tracksuit bottoms and a t-shirt. Then he set off for the kitchen garden. Ted, the royal gardener, was in the greenhouse. The king looked around. Plants of every size and color filled the shop. Pots of flowers filled on the floor. Splendid, said the king. Well done. He handed Ted a bag of clothes and quickly turned to leave. Thank you, Ted beamed. Come and see my tomatoes. The king started, but Ted was already leading the way. The king followed. It wouldn't take long. He armed the emirate the tomatoes and kidney beans on the broad beans. In the rows of carrots, lettuce, spring onion, and peas. At last, the king said goodbye and set off the farm. He waved to the queen, who was chatting to some children in the orchard. But he didn't stop. He could wait to get to the shop. Dot, the royal farmer, was in the dairy. The king looked round. Jugs, ladders, and big churns were so clean they shone. "Splendid," said the king. "Well done." He handed Dot about a coin and quickly turned to leave. "Thank you," Dot begged. "Come and see my new piglet." The king is dead, but he liked pigs. The piglets were pink and tiny and soft. The king sat among them. The scratched the old sow behind her ears. At last he stood up to leave. The shops would soon be closing. He got off quickly on stables. Ned, the royal groom, was in the tag room. The king looked around. Sandals were stirred and neatly in ground. Grooming brush were stored in tidy boxes. Bridles and hammers were hung on hooks with each horse's name above. "Splendid," said the king. "Well done." He handed Ned a bag of coin and quickly turned to leave. "Thank you," Ned begged. "Come and see Merlin, our new carriage horse. I've just been grooming him." The king hesitated, but Ned was so proud of the king's horse. Ned thought Merlin out of his stable and trotted him up and down the yard. Merlin's dapple gray coat shone, his silver mane of planted, showing off the curve of his neck. The silver tail streamed out behind. At last he arrived at the town and found a shop he wanted. It was still open. The king went outside. He'd make it, but filled every nook and cranny. There were mountains like a racing back. There were yellow, blue, and red and green bikes. "Much to find. Magnificent," said the king. He thanked Ned and set off for town. If he hurried, he could not still be heard before the shop shut. But in the big town, it was too hard to walk quickly. Never mind, the king told himself. It'll be more fun on the way back and faster. There were bicycles with seats on the back for small children. There were bicycles with baskets on front for shopping. But the king couldn't see the one he wanted. He explained to the shopkeeper, who disappeared and came back wearing a very special bicycle. "Splendid!" cried the king. He handed his 100 silver coins to the shopkeeper. "That's just what I want." Okay, this is my story I want to tell you today. Do you see the king visit 4 places? What the first place the king visited? Oh yes, is the royal gardener, and the second place is the royal farmer, and the third place is the royal groom, and the place he just went is the bicycle shop. Okay, see you next